Hi, welcome to Celebrating Culture. We're coming to you today from Audubon Zoo, a great place that does a tremendous amount to educate people on endangered species. One of those species is the elephant. Interestingly enough, in New Orleans, people have found unique ways through Mardi Gras
Eat a peanut, save an elephant.
and art sculptures to draw attention to the plight of the elephant. We're going to showcase what they've done in New Orleans. We'll be right back. Our news spent 5 years touring Louisiana. We've interviewed countless numbers of people. The people that make it happen, that put on Mardi Gras, the chefs, the artists, the backbone of Louisiana. We've taken those interviews and made a show called Celebrating Culture. But we've also taken those interviews and put them in a tour app, New Orleans Insider Tours. To download the apps, all you have to do is point your phone at the flow code in the camera mode. Once you have the app downloaded, you'll have access to putting together the best game plan to experience in Louisiana. You can start with Little Palermo, which is 50 points of interest on the Italian community, and then go to Statue Stories and Spirits, over 150 stops in the French Quarter and CBD. Where to dine in New Orleans, what rooftop bars give you the best view, how to see the Gulf of Mexico from the coastal towns, driving up to the Bonnie and Clyde Museum near Shreveport, or up to Vicksburg. New Orleans and Louisiana are must-see for everyone, and there's so much to see. So we hope you enjoy it, and as we say here, let the good times roll.
My name is Anna Finger, and I am inspired to do this project because I love elephants and I really don't want to see them disappear.
Welcome to Awesome Wildlife Effort. Today we have a special episode. We have Anna of Anna for Elephants. Anna, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Anna, you have just finished a great project to educate people about elephants. Tell us about the project.
So I've been working to help save the elephants with Mr. Beard's Watering Hole Foundation. I'm trying to save the elephants, which are quickly going extinct. 100 are killed every day for their ivory tusks.
And mainly that ivory tusk, it's being carved like we see here. This is a replica of what they're doing with it.
Definitely, into like trinkets and things like that, like little chopsticks and things like this, and ivory elephants, little elephants this big.
Knickknacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically little things for people to put on their shelf, and then an elephant loses its life for that reason.
I went and I presented in front of the middle school at Newman so that they would donate newspaper to Anna for Elephants for the big elephant.
I understand you built this beautiful elephant in the art district of New Orleans at an art garage.
Yeah, so we built this big elephant. Jacques Dufour and Alex Beard built it out of cardboard and paper mache, and we used about 35,000 strips of paper to represent every elephant killed last year.
And people can go and see this and actually still decorate on it, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can go and paint it more. We started at the second weekend of Jazz Fest, talking to people walking down the street, talking to people going to and from Jazz Fest. There were a lot of people that would go and say, can I put a piece of paper on? We had a few people that stayed for like half an hour helping putting paper on, and we got a lot of donations. It was really great.
Jacques did a great job of building the structure.
Definitely. He's the mastermind behind the building with the cardboard. And it went up very, very quickly.
They were working very hard.
The day that we were supposed to finish it, it rained really hard, and so we had to throw this giant tarp over it. We didn't get to finish it. Then we moved it to the art garage and finished it there. It's very cool. There are a lot of people coming in all through the night until very late, and the whole night I had people to talk to and to share a project with.
I understand you were inspired by your dad.
Yes, my dad, who is from Johannesburg, who lived there until he was 11, and he always tells me stories about the elephants and how much he loves them.
And you're going back soon with your dad.
Yes, I'm going this summer in about 5 days to go and walk with Mr. Beard and his son. And we're walking about 8 miles a day to follow the elephants.
But you know, you're part of the Elephants Across NOLA movement. So elephants are popping up all around New Orleans right now. There's marches for elephants. There's Anna, who's on St. Claude Avenue. And there's actually out in Kenner, there's a big elephant called Ella on Loyola Drive. You are an integral part of Elephants Across NOLA, creating the awareness in New Orleans to let people know we need to save the species.
My website is annaforelephants.com.
Okay.
And Anna is spelled with one N because I feel like that might be confusing. I have a Facebook page called Anna for Elephants that I post on about the crisis, elephant facts. Whenever I see a picture or a drawing of an elephant, I take a picture of it. My big campaign is elephants are everywhere except in the wild.
Well, Anna, I want to thank you for making an awesome wildlife effort, because you are.
Thank you.
Save the elephants. Anna, let's say it. Save the elephants. Wait, let's do that again.
Wait, sorry.
When I say 1, 2, 3,
Wait.
I'm gonna say let's do it one more time.
Sorry, I didn't realize.
Celebrating Culture is brought to you by Awe News. Awe News also produces New Orleans Insider Tours, which are 10 self-guided tours of New Orleans and Louisiana. To download the apps, all you have to do is point your phone at the flow code in the camera mode, and you're ready to really experience Louisiana. Joey has spent basically his life taking care of elephants. And what a great guest and what a great find to have someone with such talent to explain to us how smart and emotional elephants are. Joey, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Charles. My initial start with elephants was with my grandparents. When I was about 15, they let me get around some elephants. They were circus people. And from there, it just took off. I just loved them from day one. I've been working with elephants now for 26 years. Elephants are extremely intelligent. I'd say they're probably one of the most intelligent animals on Earth. The problem with that is they're not human-like, so sometimes scientists just don't equate their intelligence to a human type. But they're extremely intelligent, things they can come up with and the things they devise, and just always thinking about things. They're very caring. They keep their young with them for most of their life. Orphaned elephants will be adopted by other elephants and taken care of. I know cases where one elephant is injured and the other one will feed it to make sure it gets its nourishment. Elephants are conservation minded. One story I remember, we'd take the elephants out to different areas around the park and just let them eat for a little while. And one day it was really, really hot and they were getting thirsty. I could see they were getting thirsty. And Jean, the little elephant, she walked over and found a faucet. And she felt around on it and turned it on. And she'd seen me do that 1,000 times. She drank her water and she felt around on it again and turned it off. She didn't want to waste any water. When I worked at Audubon Zoo in New Orleans, the two elephants there, I call high-class elephants. One elephant, I had 53 different commands for her, and the other ones had 51. And the only difference was there were certain things she could do body-wise that the other one couldn't do. So I wouldn't be surprised if they can go upwards of 60, 65 different commands. I've been to Chile and trained 2 elephants down there. I've taught how to do elephants' nails and feet in Mexico. And I've also been to Nepal and taught young mahouts how to handle elephants there. We use more humane techniques here in America. Sometimes the old ways in the Southeast Asian countries can be somewhat hard on the elephants. So a lot of the techniques we use here are more to keep the elephant trusting of you and keeping them well and wanting to be around you and just safer for them. They're trained without pain all over the United States and Europe every day. The purpose, when you're training an animal, any animal, whether it's an elephant or your dog at home, you don't want to cause the animal discomfort because you want the animal to trust you and come to you. If you don't have that kind of relationship with them, you're not going to get very far with teaching them anything, and you will likely get hurt by that animal. With the latest push to take elephants out of zoos and take them off the road with the circus, you take them out of the public view. And the old saying, out of sight, out of mind, it rings true. If people don't see it in front of them and have the opportunity to touch it and look it in the eye, they usually don't care about it much. They enjoy the stimulation of different places. There was a study done about 10 years ago. It was a mortality study of wild versus captive elephants. Which lived longer? Well, obviously captive elephants live longer because they don't have the worries of what goes on in the wild, poaching, whatever. But in that sub-study, it was found that circus elephants outlive zoo elephants by more than 11 years. And having elephants in captivity or captive populations gives us a window into how we can better serve the wild populations. We can learn things where human-elephant conflict. Elephants go on farmers' lands, destroy the whole land. What's the farmer's option? They're going to poison the elephant, set a snare, or shoot its eyes out. Happens all the time. Well, here in the States with the captive populations, we can work on things to dress fence lines with that will deter an elephant. Not hurt them, deter them. Maybe a pepper spray, maybe a hive of bees or something, because elephants don't like bees. So having a captive population helps with all of those types of things. And also, right now, big news, Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey is working with Johns Hopkins and MD Anderson on a cancer study. Of all the mammals on Earth, elephants are the only ones that do not contract cancer. So they're trying to figure out why that is.
Joey, thank you for a great interview.
No problem, it was wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, we hope you've enjoyed this episode of Celebrating Culture. On News has interviewed hundreds of people and produced dozens of episodes for local broadcasting of awesome people doing great things to inspire us all. If you'd like to watch a specific interview, please visit our YouTube channel and subscribe. Today, we're with Ella, who was just erected in Kenner, Louisiana, to showcase vanishing species. A lot of people are getting involved in this movement, and many are putting together marches. The Global March for Elephants and Rhinos got started in Kenya right after a mall massacre in September 2013. As a show of solidarity, marches now take place not only in Kenya, London, Hong Kong, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., all over the world, and the turnout has been phenomenal in the last 3 years. Patty Wesson and Teresa De Leon put together a fabulous march in New Orleans, and using some of the rare things that New Orleans has to make her march special.
We held our march in the quarter, which I thought was a great idea because that's where the majority of the people are. We found out through the process that holding a march here in New Orleans can be very expensive. I happened to have a friend that understood what I was trying to do. She has a son who is an actor, Ian Somerhalder. She donated a jacket to us where we could raise funds, and with his blessings, that raised quite a bit of money to help us out. We had a little help from Ben Haswell, who is one of the staffers members that works at Edna Carr School, and they are a very well-known band from what I understand. They're a brass band, so they came over and marched with us and performed. And so we had our second line band. Everybody was, dancing down the streets. We had people on the sidewalks that were really getting into it, and people that even came out of their businesses and when they heard the music, so they came out to see what was going on. So we know we grew a lot of awareness that way. We don't want to be the generation that has allowed this to happen. We don't want to sit back later, 10 years from now, when they're gone and say, oh, I should have done something when I had the opportunity. We want to grow our army of voices and have everyone speaking up for the rhinos, the elephants, the lions. We want to save these creatures.
The plight of the elephant demands our undivided attention. There's really no word you can describe, that you can use to describe the situation of elephants in the wild today. They are simply in crisis. Quite frankly, there's no way to even overstate how catastrophic the last few years have been for these elephants, because now they are under threat, as they never have been before, by agents of transnational crime rings and terrorist organizations who are mutilating helpless animals and murdering park rangers on a scale not seen since the international ivory ban went into effect.
The Global March spans all ages. It's about solidarity of our planet. We are all here together. It doesn't matter what our race is, our nationality, our religion, our political party. We all know we need to save these animals because it's the right thing to do, and they were all part of one ecosystem. And the efforts of Patty Wesson and many others involved in this movement have shown that the marches have become mainstream, that people from 10 years old to Pope Francis, to anyone in between, is now marching to say, look at the laws. We've got to address this issue, or these animals, these precious animals that have been around for millions of years, will be extinct in our lifetime. The Global March for Elephants and Rhinos typically happens around the feast of St. Francis of Assisi, or World Animal Day. If we don't take action soon to save these species, they will be extinct in our lifetime in the wild. Celebrating Culture is brought to you by Awe News. Awe News also produces New Orleans Insider Tours, which are 10 self-guided tours of New Orleans and Louisiana. To download the apps, all you have to do is point your phone at the flow code in the camera mode, and you're ready to really experience Louisiana. Hi, welcome back to Celebrating Culture. This segment is on the Great Tuskers of Awe. We picked the name the Great Tuskers of Awe to honor great tuskers. There are only 20 great tuskers left in the world. They have tusks that weigh over 100 pounds and are over 5 feet long. The Great Tuskers of Awe got started by a group of citizens in New Orleans deciding to do something to alert the community of the need to save endangered species. Elephants became an endangered species, and they were really being poached at a high level in 2011. Roughly 10% of the herd per year, or 30,000 elephants, were being poached. So this group started marching, first in the French Quarter in 2014, and then formed the Great Tuskers of Awe to march in parades. And people came out to help. There was Don Barkenmeyer, who volunteered his fire truck and drove it throughout the parade with some of his friends. Wheel Fund Rentals of City Park volunteered their Surrey bikes. Members of Delta Tau Delta fraternity, they agreed to pedal those bikes. Billy Nungesser volunteered his elephant Peanut. As the Great Tuskers of Awe paraded down St. Charles Avenue handing out these coloring cards, the crowd response was phenomenal. People were chanting, "Save the elephants."
Save the elephants!
Save the elephants!
All right, one more time.
Save the elephants! Save the elephants!
All right, we're good.
Happy Mardi Gras!
Save the elephants! Save the elephants! Save the elephants! Save the elephants! So I got Caroline here. Caroline, do you love elephants?
I love elephants.
Why do you love elephants?
Because they're one of the very few animals that show empathy.
Now, you got a special necklace.
I do.
What do you got?
An elephant.
Now, how long have you been an elephant fan?
For a few years now.
Wonderful. Well,
My whole classroom is decorated in
You're a
elephants.
teacher?
Yes.
so Caroline, this is a coloring book we're making for elephants.
Cool.
So you could give it to your kids.
Love it.
And we can download this on the internet now, and it has some facts about elephants and what we can do to save elephants.
Save the elephants!
Save the elephants! What would you like to do to save elephants?
I would like to tell people to stop hurting elephants.
And I think that's the smart thing that we need to do is to stop hurting elephants.
Wait,
Huh?
am I gonna be on news?
You are going to be on the news. Say it. Then one more time, I want you to do this with me, and we raise our arm together. We're going to say, save the elephants. 1, 2, 3. Save the elephants! We're glad to be working with you because we honor people who make an awesome wildlife effort. And while you educating kids on the importance of exotic animals, that is an awesome wildlife effort.
Well, I don't think it's just about exotic animals. I think it's about trees, it's about water, it's about the place we live, and it makes a difference for us to stem down to our children and teach us what we had at one
Are
time.
you ready to toast the mayor?
Yeah, yes, sir, I am, and I just want to tell the city, the mayor, I think they're doing a good job. We need to support our cops. We need to support our state troopers.
Oh, hell, King, Allah.
We need to support our military. Without these guys, this kind of thing doesn't happen, guys. We can't be having a good family affair without them. And we cannot have support for the elephants without our military. Save the elephants. Woo!
This is a replica tusk made from epoxy. Elephant ivory would be carved and sold. It was being smuggled into America and other countries. U.S. Fish and Wildlife, they crushed tons of elephant ivory that was illegally brought into America. The great news is, by 2015, a bill was sent to Congress to make wildlife trafficking a RICO crime, make the penalty stronger. Congress put it in place. Today, elephant poaching is still alarming, but it's half of what it was in 2011. This is great news that we've achieved something. World Elephant Day is August 12th. Educate your kids, educate your friends about saving endangered species. Celebrating Culture is brought to you by Awe News. Awe News also produces New Orleans Insider Tours, which are 10 self-guided tours of New Orleans and Louisiana. To download the apps, all you have to do is point your phone at the flow code in the camera mode, and you're ready to really experience Louisiana.
This episode is about Corpse Day Napoleon Parade and Family Gras with Jefferson Parish President Mike Yenny and his lovely wife, Michelle. Mike, welcome to the show.
Charles, we're so glad to be here.
Thank you for having us.
So, Mike, tell me, Family Gras, it's been going on for a lot of years. It's a good time. What's it about?
Well, Family Gras actually started when I was the Director of Citizens Affairs, which runs Mardi Gras and special events. And it was designed to bring people back to the parade route, to get people really reinvigorated about Jefferson Parish Mardi Gras. The way it originally started off was Friday night was going to be like a bring your old Halloween costumes out of the closet and use those and kind of have a costume contest. Saturday was going to be dress like your favorite fan, like of whatever team you really like. And then Sunday was going to be more about the parades and Mardi Gras purple, green, and gold. And it kind of like stemmed away from that, but the whole thing that's made it through that whole time since 2006, the first one, has been the bands. And the parish has tried to reach out for bands. All walks of life love it, you know, where you've got country, whether you've got pop rock, you've got stuff for the kids with the imagination movers that have come time and time again. So it's a lot of different genre for everybody to come out and enjoy it. That's why it's called Family Gras, because it's for the whole family.
Michelle, what are some of the people that have played?
Oh, well, last year they had the Beach Boys, which was a lot of fun. And this year they had Andy Grammer, the Monkees.
And there's a lot of food, a lot of artwork. It's just a whole evening.
I mean, the plaza that's not too far behind us was pretty much designed to now hold Family Gras. And I really have to give my predecessor in Kenner, former Mayor Ed Munez, kind of the idea for this, because when the concept came about, we took some of the parish leaders to Orleans Avenue where Endymion starts. And he puts on a free concert out on Orleans Avenue, and that's exactly what we did. Some of the leaders at the time wanted to do something at Lafreniere Park, but that's not on the parade route. Veterans Boulevard, right here at Causeway, this is a great area to be able to do that concert. Plus the parades can start, and by the time they get here, the concert's over. So it's time for the people to go out and enjoy the parades.
It's a lot of dining. We're at the Lakeside Shopping Center. This is the hub of Jefferson Parish. And we keep saying Family Gras, but if someone is not in New Orleans, they think Mardi Gras might just be Bourbon Street. You know, you guys were marshals in a parade. What's a parade like, and what does Family Gras mean when you're in Corpse Day Napoleon?
Especially a lot of the Metairie parades have such a family feel. We rode in the Corps Day Napoleon and we had a great time, and just seeing all the families on the street really give it a different aspect of Mardi Gras, and definitely not the normal Bourbon Street reputation.
You have that ladder with the basket on it. It's almost like a patent idea for New Orleans. When people think Family Gras, kids are on a ladder getting toys.
There's nothing like throwing a stuffed animal to a little kid in a ladder and watching them react when they get that stuffed animal, especially if they caught it. It's one thing if the parent catches it and hands it to them, but if they caught it, it's a pretty awesome sight. But you know, what's funny is, you know, of course, Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, and then Family Gras, Fat Family. You know, everybody's like, why are you insulting families? Well, the whole point was when they came up with the concept was the whole family. It doesn't have to just be the mom and the dad and the two kids. It can be the grandparents, the aunts, the uncles. It was trying to get people from Jefferson Parish, which has always been the family-oriented Mardi Gras spirit, to come out and enjoy this great festival.
We're coming to you today from Gallier Hall in New Orleans. Besides being a phenomenal historic building, it's also where all the kings of all the crews stop to toast the mayor. A huge place of significance in the history of Mardi Gras. It's been going on for more than 100 years. And I'm with Brian Berger, who is actually the king of the Crew of Awe this year. So Brian, I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Charles.
Brian is both an entrepreneur and an artist. And as an artist, his band has played at football events, professional football events at the Louisiana Superdome, but also on the nonprofit side, he plays at a lot of nonprofit events along the waterfront, helping raise awareness for oysters and seafood and other issues. And he does a lot of great weddings where they love him because he just connects with people so well.
It was so amazing from the beginning of the parade. Once we started pulling out the parking lot to get into the parade route, so many people were starting to just come up to the elephant and ask for like the coloring cards we had, and they wanted to learn about what we were doing, and they just got so receptive to it. By the time we got going down the route, you could hear them screaming, "Save the elephants." Save the elephants! Save the elephants! What made my day was to see how these families and their children got the message so clear. And it's almost like they were caught off guard when they saw an elephant coming down the middle of the street, a huge elephant, and we're handing out coloring cards. They didn't know what to think. To see these families and their kids getting the message was so glorious. We also had fraternity brothers ride with us from Tulane, Delta Chi Delta, and they were helping us out, and they were so excited about doing something for a good cause.
My name's Andrew Landseedle, and I'm a member of Delta Tau Delta's Beta Xi chapter at Tulane University. We march with the Great Tuskers of Awe during their parades throughout New Orleans to help raise awareness for the preservation of endangered species throughout Africa and the rest of the world. Our chapter has a strong focus on philanthropy and on trying to make the community and the world around us a better place. We're really grateful for Charles and the Great Tuskers of Awe for giving us this opportunity to help them on their mission to try to raise awareness for the preservation of these great species. About 20 to 25 of our brothers and new members participated throughout the process, either in the first parade in Metairie or the second in Uptown New Orleans during Mardi Gras. And we just had a fantastic time. Before each parade, we all met together, got dressed, and helped set up the float, made sure everything looked great for the audience. And during the actual parade, just seeing everyone's response and how happy they were at our float and our message, it really felt like we were doing something constructive and positive. At both parades, we gave out these coloring cards that were both educational and kind of interactive, mostly directed at the kids and young people so that they could kind of learn more about this issue. It was just so heartwarming to see how much everyone loved them.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Celebrating Culture. Since 2013, through the efforts of many people worldwide, elephant poaching is down 50%. It just goes to show that when we work together, what great things we can achieve. Let's all stay active and help endangered species.
A story that everybody likes is my wife and I, we both worked at the zoo. And there were days she would come over to see me at lunchtime or whatever, and I'd still be working, and she would just walk out in the yard. And we'd stand there and talk, and Panya, the larger of the elephant, we had a wonderful relationship. She would always wander over and work her way between the two of us and take me by the hand with her trunk, just to show that she's the boss here, you know.